You know why this on here, the baby, man? We can take it outside. I'ma kick a fucking ass. Meet me in the parking lot. Meet me in the parking lot. Why? This on here, the baby, man. We can take it outside. I'ma kick a fucking ass. Meet me in the parking lot.
A little dirty version. Did I just lose everybody again? Am I live right now? Because I can't see it on here. Yeah? Alright, so I can see it. Alright, let's see. Tell me if you see some charts coming in here. Hold on. What do you see the chart of? As I say hello to everybody. Oh, there we go. S&P cash. Little old school ladies. Anybody remember I got the power? Oh, yeah. Alright. It is 6:30. It is Thursday. We could be, it's a summer. We're a little off the cuff, aren't we? Anyway, this is, by the way, I'm going to have a 50, I'm throwing myself a 50th birthday party in September. It's going to be a Rob Bass 1990s theme. Actually, let's put that on. Alexa, play It Takes Two Rob Bass.
It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock from Apple Music.
Let's see. Yeah. We'll start the 6:30 club on Hit It. All right. It is July 7th. It is Thursday. We've had a decent rally this week. Dips have been bought. Anyway, I hope everyone's enjoying this summer, having a good week in the market. Hasn't been easy, but you know, there's been things to do. Got a nice rally in small cap bios. We had a decent move in ARC. You know, tech has led the way with some key stocks. Even the semis were a little bit viable, and now maybe we get a little bit of an energy bounce. So we'll see what happens with the SPYs as we head into Jobs Friday. Let me say what's up to some of my boys. Belmore knows this song. What up, Texas? How you feeling this morning? You got Queens in the house. What up, DeQuester? The heat is on. I'm actually sweating a little bit myself. I got a little glossy forehead. Hope everyone has their iced coffee, getting their charts together, getting ready to do some little old school chart work. Meanwhile, as I listen to this music, just so you guys, if you didn't know, back in the day, when I was 17, I used to dance at bar mitzvahs. I used to do 3 a weekend. And then when I went to college, I used to MC bar mitzvahs, and I used to come home from SUNY Albany when I was president of my fraternity, playing flag football, working out, and I would do 2-3 parties a weekend in order to pay for college. So this way, I wouldn't have any college debt. So I hear this whole conversation about forgiving college debt, and it really kind of irks me. You know, they want to forgive college debt. What are they going to do? Give institutions the right to keep charging an arm and a leg. What I think they should do is eliminate interest. Get rid of the interest, let them pay back the principal, but to forgive college tuition for anyway, let's do it. It's disrespectful to turn off Rob Bass, so I'll just turn it a little bit lower. So anyway, you know, we came in this week after ending the second quarter, which was deemed the worst first half since 1970. You know, would we get some kind of bounce? You know, what are we going to do as we wait for earnings season to start, which starts next week? So sometimes we get a little lift prior. So this way, you know, we could see things in net money. Sometimes people are like, Red Dog, you're playing long, but we're going to make new lows in the S&P. I'm like, okay, that might be in a week or two, but until then, let's go day by day and just watch the action, look for clues, and not have too big of opinions, because it's the opinions that are going to get you in trouble in this market. You can have a base case of what you think and have plan A, B, and C, but it's only an opinion until the market confirms it. So yesterday we had the Fed minutes, which was more of a June story. And you know what happened then? That was when, you know, you had yields above 3%, you had oil above 115, and you know, I do think we've probably hit peak hawkishness by the Fed, and I think peak inflation. But I've been saying that for like 2 weeks. It's just a matter of now, you know, how much of a slowdown did we have in the actual economy, and what will earnings look like, and what will guidance look like, and can things go up on them or not. So that's kind of the plan as we head into July. But for right now, it's been a pretty good tradable week. If you look here at the S&P cash, 37.38, was support for 3 days. Okay, and then yesterday we held 38.09 and hit 38.70, trying to take back the 8 and 21 day. So we'll see. Do we get a little bit of a rally? Towards this 3,900 area. If you see right here, the 50-day is starting to come lower. So there's a chance that we see the 50-day. If you look at the SPYs, pretty similar. They've kind of lagged this week. I've made more money in the Qs and the XBI than the SPYs, but maybe today, the SPYs give a little bit more juice. If we get some kind of oil bounce, oil's been under pressure, energy, which is good overall. But at this point, energy names have gotten battered and bruised. And just when everyone said you had to be long energy names, you had that doji top, and we've corrected since. It's just so funny. The CNBC meter, whenever you hear something on CNBC 4 times an hour for 2 days, usually you have to do the reverse because you're at the extreme of a trend. That's sentiment, my friends. So anyway, here's 385.85. Right now the SPYs are up a little bit, so we're below yesterday's high. We're within this range. So do we have an inside day heading into the jobs report tomorrow, or do we? I would think today we definitely. I wouldn't think we break 379.60. I just don't know if we're going to have enough power to get above this. I am long some SPYs overnight, and we'll see how it goes. The Qs have been outperforming. Okay, if you look here, granted, yes, we're in a downtrend, and granted, we've had some counter trend moves, but we're allowed to trade counter trend moves. Amazon's been pretty good this week also. So anyway, 285 held yesterday, right above the moving averages. 290.95 is the high. Looks like this too. We haven't been above the 50-day in a long time. We're just above the 8 and 21 day again. So now, as long as we hold, I say sometimes, as long as we hold 285, you can't get too bearish. So perhaps we make a move towards this 296 area. But it all depends what happens tomorrow. Google actually splits on July 15th. That also has acted well this week. You just have to be very careful of prices. If you add to a winning long and it comes in and you have too much size, you feel very vulnerable. So I'd rather see you have less size, give things a little bit more room, and net money versus more size. Same thing, people on the short side. There's been a lot of times where we've made lower highs and lower lows, but if you press a short and they squeeze you, you're like, oh my God, we've been down for 15 months. I'm shorting now, and you're probably right, but you do it at the wrong time. So I would not. I'd be very careful on price. Even yesterday, I actually, it got caught into that last 10-minute pullback in the SPYs, but thank goodness I waited, to buy the pullback after that move in the afternoon, so I didn't have as much pain. I was able to stay with it. But if I started too early, it might have been a different story. But anyway, like I drew yesterday, look at this. You have a pretty distinguished downtrend here too. If you just do it from a blind eye here, or loosely, I call myself a cocktail napkin technician. So it seems as if there is a downtrend that we haven't been above in a while, and if we do get above this descending trend line, maybe there's a little bit more upside. Yesterday I sold XBI. Yes, I did sell the XBI because we had a really nice move. Okay, look at this move in the XBI. If you remember, when the SPYs made new lows, I think on June 16th, and so did the Qs, and XBI didn't, and either did ARK. So that gave me some clues to be long XBI and ARK, and we've had quite a bounce, and you had a little bit of a topping tail yesterday, so I did get out of it, even though it's up a little bit today. I kind of think, what's it called? I kind of think ARK, everyone's going to make fun of me and laugh at me, but I kind of think ARK is going to break above this channel at some point, okay, and give an additional move to this 52 to 55 area. And I know it's a counter trend trade, and I know but to me, I can handle it because I trade actively for a living, so I could time sectors and make money outperforming, and so could you. Google and Tesla have similar downtrend lines. Well, they're tech, so they should have similar downtrend lines. So the question is, do we get rejected at these downtrend lines or not? And that's probably going to be a tomorrow story. But if you look here, I think this 46 area is pretty big. So if all of a sudden, you see the ARK hold a little bit higher here, okay, let me draw this line and put it here, and we get a high-level flag, okay, which it tried to do here but wasn't ready yet. Okay, I do think there's a move, and if you look more on the weekly chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. First of all, on the weekly chart, it tells a full story here. Like, by the way, this is when Kathy Woods could do no good. This is when we're above the 8-day the entire time. This is when the trend changed. Anyway, this is where we are now. So although we had a little bit of a bounce off of macro support, I do kind of think there's a tradable move into this 55 area. So I actually bought options for next Friday, not for tomorrow, but for next Friday, just in case ARK doesn't trade well. I feel like, you could buy the options and at least have risk as premium paid just to have some exposure there. But again, look at the weekly chart. Wow. Below the 8-day, you stay the frick out of the way. And now if you get back above it, maybe there's some room to the 21-day. Do you think the XLE is still in an uptrend? I'll show you the XLE. By the way, there were so many clues to get the hell out of the XLE. Okay, I personally don't like it, and maybe there's a bounce here, but once everybody got really, really, really loud on TV about it having to be an energy and that it's going to go to 140 to 160, you had a little bit of a doji top. Look at this doji top here, guys. So learn charts, learn candlesticks. This doji top, after a huge run, this was a great spot to get along in the 80s, and then you had a nice, what's it called, uptrend. You had a doji when it was extended from the 8-day, so right there you should have sold it anyway, whether we were in an uptrend or not. Then we broke below the low of a doji, so that usually gives some individuals an indication to either get out of more risk in that sector or maybe even get short. Then we broke the 8-day, couldn't get back above it. Then you had a gap down and couldn't really fill it. Then you lost the 8 and 21-day, and that's at 86. From 86 down to the 200-day, you had a bounce. Then you had a bearish engulfing candle as you opened up and took out a prior low, and then now you have, this is your pivot low. I don't know. Maybe you could see some kind of oversold bounce back to the 8-day, but to me, this has so much work to do. Maybe during earnings season, you'll get some individual stocks pop because they probably have awesome earnings because oil did what it did. But as far as the XLE, to me, right around here is where this accelerated trend broke, and then it changed once it lost the moving averages, and it's been below since. So, I did buy the USO yesterday just for a trade. I don't even know what it's doing yet this morning. Why did I buy the USO? Because the USO gave a little bit of a red dog reversal when it went below the prior low, which was, I guess, Tuesday. This was Wednesday. Figured we were a little extended to the downside. But again, same thing with oil. If you looked for candlesticks that gave clues, this red dog reversal right here should have said, hey, we're not having a bull flag break to the upside. This was bearish. And then here you had the same kind of candle with a lower high, and then all of a sudden, boom. So to me, XLF might give you some kind of broken bounce heading into earnings next week, but these earnings for the banks are, I got to believe, going to be horrendous. There's been no M&A. There's been no IPOs. And do I think their trading has been great for the quarter? Probably not, because I know for me, I didn't trade great the quarter. It was tough, and I'm probably better than most people out there. So anyway, the question is, though, did like a JP Morgan, has it come in enough? I don't know. This is when everyone in the world said you had to be long the banks. When JP Morgan went into this quarter's earning in January, because rates were going up, you gapped down, and then we've been in a downtrend since. So now all the way down here, whatever percentage off highs, I think that could be a little trade. If you want to be long versus 109.30, maybe there's a bounce here. JP Morgan's had great numbers so many quarters in a row, and it's always been sold. So maybe they have a horrendous quarter, and down here maybe they buy it. So we'll have to see the reaction to it then. As far as Tesla, what you just said, Tesla hasn't led. Tesla's been very lethargic, but there's been small little things to do. Tesla, reclaimed 667 here. Remember that March rally? This was awesome. We haven't had something like that in a while. You had an active sequence to the upside that ended there with 3 lower highs, and then this was when it really changed last quarter. And then it's been really just a small little tactical trade since. It hasn't been Tesla. It's been Tesla, but not the Tesla of old, either as anything of the markets. So with that being said, what do I think today? I don't know. If you want to go, here's yesterday's low. We used the 690 as a pivot yesterday. What's this high here? Guys, what was yesterday's high of Tesla? It could be bear flaggy, but it could also just, continue to be bouncing in here. The high of, let's see, hold on a second. I like BABA, by the way. I'm pretty long BABA. So this is 703.69. So I'm going to write that in. 703. I actually made good money in Tesla yesterday. Really micro scalping. It was down 4. I bought it. It went green. Bought more through 6.99. I was selling 701.072s, and I made money there and I didn't trade it again the rest of the day. So sometimes you can make really good money in 6-7 minutes using some kind of setup and then moving on. So right now, here's what Tesla looks like. You have 703. Can it get above 703? If it gets above 703, this is your next resistance. And then this, I guess you could say, is sort of a channel now. So 756 is bigger. So here you go. And that's also the 50-day right there. So maybe if this rally is going to continue, there's a little bit of room to that spot. Somebody asked me, what's Tesla doing today? What's Tesla right now? Let's do this together. Tesla, before I looked at it, is up like 5, which probably is a little bit below 703. So we'll see. Anybody? Come on. Where are you? You guys are supposed to be like, 701-ish. There you go. So it's a little bit below 703. So maybe it goes sideways, takes out 703. This low here was what? 727. So there's a room for a trade. Sometimes it's just trades. I know everybody on TV wants to make like they're managing billions of dollars and they don't adjust their positions in day trade and do kind of things like that. But everybody tries to create alpha around their positions. And if they don't, they're lying to you. Okay, so we'll see what happens there with Tesla. BABA is interesting. BABA to me has a 702.50. So look at this chart of BABA. Okay, BABA, by the way, I haven't really traded in a while. I did do it as a power play on this move, and now it looks as if, okay, BABA is ready to take out this 120 to 121 area, and then if you can get above the 200-day, maybe there's better action here. I lost money in BABA yesterday in my stock because I went home long, and it was really choppy yesterday because Asia was down, but Asia was up kind of last night. It's right here. I have options for this Friday and for next Friday and today. If we can get above 120, 50 to 121 with authority, then I do think it opens the door. So that'll be something I focus on today. If you go to the weekly chart, because you'll see where it came in from, that's all we are. Look at this. Look at the high here. Look at when it broke trend, and it's been in a downtrend since. So now it's finally above the 8 and 21 day. So if it can get above this, maybe there's a trade to like the 132 area. Apple's been pretty good. It's been viable on dips. I've made good money in Apple this week, except yesterday I was a little tentative in Apple because freaking Goldman lowered their price target on it. And, so I just wanted to adjust and get out of it pretty fast. But I can't imagine Apple's going to have a good quarter. But again, we're not at Apple's earnings yet. We're still just trading it prior. And I don't want to screw you up as far as your cash flow here. But this is a nice setup here for BABA if it wants. I like to look for setups, and that's a decent setup. I did make some money with AMD, kind of reclaim this low area. I told you guys yesterday that Micron that came out with an underwhelming quarter finally, what's it called, rallied on bad news. So what's AMD doing this morning? There was some news out that Samsung was decent as far as their semiconductors. So I think you do have some of the, up. You have some of the semis. So where's AMD? AMD is up $1. Okay, so 76.40. Yesterday's high is 76.28. I did say yesterday you could buy dips, for an oversold bounce, probably to the 8-day. The 8 days right here, so there's not a whole lot of room there. But again, lots of ways to get the hell out of the way, and now we'll see to kind of get back towards the 8-day. Zoom is probably, like a lot of these high growth names that have been absolutely battered and bruised and trying to break down trends. And, I don't know. I haven't looked at Zoom in a long time. I'll take a look at it. Here's Zoom. This was the last time it broke. I haven't really looked at Zoom since September of 2021. If you don't see any lines on there, maybe I think I drew something around here. I don't know. I still use Zoom every now and then. I know people still use it, and again, do you think that it's in a better shape it was now than it was before the pandemic and people knew about it? Looks like yesterday you had a little bit of a red dog reversal day where it got above, came back below. It's broken bounces. A lot of these names have all had broken bounces. Commodities with the China news. What's the China news? Maybe stimulus? What's the USO doing? Only up 44 cents. I'll tell you, gold has been crap. I played gold back in February, right pre-war. I had a good call spread. I haven't looked at it since. A little inverse in Zoom. You want to have a Zoom happy hour? today? Maybe we'll have a little Zoom happy hour today. It's Thursday. It's been a decent week. It's 6:49. I'll let you guys know. This, yeah, you could say if you get this. So you're trying to say that this seems like an inverse head and shoulders pattern, where that's the left shoulder. Here's the head. You could say that. I think. It's a lot of these things look similar like this, and then you could say this is the neckline, and then if ARC wants to get better, and if we do continue to have this little playbook switch where high growth gets a better look. It's not really clean. Yeah, nothing's really that clean. Then maybe you get a move back towards the 200-day, which sometimes you do test, which would be nice from here. But this should not give back more than half of this spot. So we'll see. There's a Roblex. That was a good trade earlier this week. RBLX. It too, had a decent move. Just I showed you guys, look at the tail of the tape here. This is when I was really involved in RBLX. This was a different time. You had your inverse head and shoulders pattern. You had your gap up. It took out that. It's above the 8 and 21 day. Then this big time engulfing bearish candle said be careful. It was so extended. Then you had an inside wedge that broke below the 8 day, broke again, and it's been in a downtrend since. So now what? If you look here, there's been some trades. This was a decent one over here. Then you had a decent type of bull flag. A nice little move. I would say I don't love it, but again, if it wants to, what's this high here? This is 40.35. If it wants to do a few inside days above this 36-ish area, maybe there's another trade towards the 200-day, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think there's better things out there. Be very careful trading these broken names. Yes, I love the treasures for trash trade, when you could make 20% or 15% in a broken stock because it has an oversold bounce, because there's still a lot of shorts there. But when that music's over, it drops real fast, and we've seen that for 15 to 17 months. But after 15 to 17 months, maybe there's a better bounce. We shall see. Overall, in crypto, keep an eye there. It does look a little bit like perhaps, you could get a little bit of a move in Bitcoin. It's been trying to go sideways. I've been in a lot of cash in crypto. There's been so many different signals, right? This is where this is my commentary ever since here when it broke the 821. It was in a downtrend. It tried, broke again, broke again, broke again. Does this look like this a little bit? But sometimes from a lower level, it gives you a way to play an oversold bounce. At this point, it doesn't look like anyone's really in a rush here. But if the rally in the market is going to go a little further, maybe this could see 24,000. The 25.3 is the prior pivot. But ultimately, if we're going to see a break of 36.38 this summer, which is probably a little bit more of a 50-50 chance, then if you look at the weekly chart of Bitcoin, chances are, this will be a bear flag that gets you a move down to here, which is where you should put your size on. But maybe, we get a bounce back to the 8-day first, which we've done a bunch of different times. So there's a little bit of room if it wants it for a trade, not for a new bull crazy run, but maybe for a trade. You almost could be long Bitcoin. You could put your stop in at 18.5 and then see if it gets back towards that. So anyway, that's it. It's Thursday at 6:53. I got to go hang out with the Alpha team. I got to mark up about 40 charts. Yes, 40 charts that I put with the Alpha team and put on Redler All Access. I write my big note that goes at 8:15, and then I do my morning call at 8:15. And then around 8:45, I do a little stretching. So I sit in this chair from 6:15 to about almost 9 o'clock, and I'm doing all my work to give it to my community. But what's really happening is I'm actually putting in the levels and putting in the strategies in my head by doing the charts and doing the videos and doing it so many different ways. So when the market opens at 9:30 to 10, I can execute with confidence because I know my levels, and that's what I'm trying to do, help you prepare for the day in the morning. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Have a good Thirsty Thursday. Maybe we will have some type of happy hour later. I'm not sure yet. I might be having date night tonight with my wife, so the last thing I could do is come home from Thirsty Thursday happy hour with all of you guys, and then she won't be mad. She'll be a little mad at me, and then we want a happy wife is a happy life, not a mad wife because you get a lot of shit. Okay, did I say